Hello, good people. I was sitting back thinking about what I'm going to talk about for this political podcast. Now, I actually had another story, but I'm going to do that. I am going to do that story. But right now, I'm just going to do a year ends review on politics, how I see it. One of my viewers, Denise Stratton, said why I don't do political pods like I used to. I used to do one in between every sports segment. I used to do them, just randomly. Something happened and I'm covering it. Bam. Well, what I would tell you, Denise, is kind of lost interest in covering politics, mostly because of the players in the game, meaning politicians, meaning some of our political pundits, commentaries, the people that actually cover the news. Kind of made me want to not cover it anymore. A lot of people that I watch, I saw them starting to lose interest in covering political issues anymore and doing videos that gives information that helps people, because for one, I noticed that when I do videos like that, they weren't getting watched, number one. And then number two, it's just, I'm trying to look for a way where you can reach people. Because as you see, what was going on with Twitter through the Twitter files, and if you don't know about that, I mean, good people, certain things people were saying, and they was getting smeared as conspiracy theorists, and getting their channels and getting their their social media, censored. Let's keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? When all that was happening, people was getting smeared, getting called conspiracy theorists, misinformation. You're giving out misinformation, and lo and behold, Twitter does an investigation on itself by real journalists, and lo and behold, the whole time they found out it was mass suppression mass censoring going on. But all these people was crazy when they was saying it. I even got called a conspiracy theorist myself. And all I did was bring facts. I read articles from print newspapers, articles from the internet. But lo and behold, look what happens at Twitter. Real journalists get in there, find out the real facts that we are all being censored on Twitter. Government had some people up in there. They was throttling everybody down. So with that being said, you think it ain't happening all across the board? Oh yeah, it's happening all across social media. It's happening on some of these platforms that we use to try to get out information for people. Remember, they had they had a part of government they was going to bring out to stop misinformation across the internet. And then they said, oh, no, we're not going to do it because of the backlash, right? But what makes you think they didn't do it anyway? And what makes you think they weren't already doing it before they even talked about it? And it's funny how everything ramped up when a certain party got elected, number one. You know, everybody wants to be on this partisan road to their success or whatever. Partisan ideology, partisan in everything they say and everything they do. All you see is partisanship. So that was partly, excuse me, one of the reasons why I have stopped doing political podcasts. I haven't stopped. I just choose and pick when I want to do it. Just for my mental health, good people. It's a website out there that had me labeled as a conspiracy theorist, anti-government person, all kinds of crazy stuff, anti-government, all kinds of stuff they said about me. And I'm not even big, good people. As far as this podcast game goes, I'm not no big person in the mix. I get my hundreds of views, my thousands of views, and that's it. I'm not up there with the big dogs. But it must have been something I was saying for them to start messing with me, and it happened a long time ago. And I see it on every time I do something. And I notice a lot of these things people are saying. Jimmy Dore did a y'all should watch him. Great podcast on, well, great show. He got a huge show. I wouldn't call his a podcast. It's a literal show he did a show on the Twitter files and broke it down how they and people doing journalism. Matt Taibbi was the actual journalist that was doing doing the investigation, along with a few other journalists, to let you know how much a lot of people that's telling truths are being censored. They were censoring doctors that had a different view on COVID policy. Censoring any counter narrative that the government will put out. All these people was getting censored. Channels shut down, kicked off of social media. So I was like, man, like, really? You can be shut down for telling truths now. Not only for telling a lie, you get shut down for telling truths. So it made me kind of lose interest in talking about politics. Because of that. And I seen the throttling they doing on me, the suppression they've been doing on me across almost all my social media. And across a few apps too. So it's what's her name? Sabrina Salvati from RBN. She did a story on how people are getting messed with on YouTube. I would advise y'all to watch her and RBN. Some young brothers over there doing amazing work. And that's another reason why I kind of slowed down on the political spectrum, because I can see that there's people out there that speak more eloquently than I do when it comes to politics. And it's a passion of theirs. You can see it. So I kind of took a step back. I say it's enough people in that lane that's doing it. So like I said, I would advise y'all to go watch RBN, Revolutionary Blackout Network. They have a sister that works with them, Sabrina Salvati. She also has her own show. There's another chick, I think, well, I ain't gonna call her a chick. She's a journalist. She's a very smart, Harvard educated sister, Brianna Joy Gray. Her podcast is called Bad Faith Podcast. These are people that I watch, and I think y'all should watch them as well, because they really get into the meat and potatoes when it comes to politics. And in my opinion, if you really want to get to know what's going on without no bias, because that's not happening. There's no bias going on. Biases going on. If you really want to get the skinny when it comes to politics, I think you should watch those kind of shows, because when I speak on politics, and what I was noticing when I was doing it, is I was getting super upset while I was doing it. I mean, blood pressure was rising, good people. Yeah, blood pressure was rising. It used to make me really upset when I read these stories while I'm reading them. And then when I do the podcast on it, after the podcast, I'll be there mad as hell. But it was nothing I could do about it. Just speak on it, right? And when you speak on certain things, you know, if you really feel a certain type of way about it, in a bad way, you know, maybe it's not for you. Because, you know, I literally would be mad. Now I got a few pods up that's still relevant to this day. You know, I did something on woke, you know, people being woke and how they changed the meaning of what woke is, you know, because I see it's like a conscious effort out here for these people to say woke is these liberals asking for stuff that most people don't want and all that. No, woke, like I said earlier in an older podcast, woke is just being aware of what's going on around you. That's all woke is. They done co-opted that and took it and made it all kinds of different things, and you know, it's not what it is anymore. So did something on that. I did something on the Philadelphia prison systems. The video got 37 views on YouTube. It did better other places, but you know, when you do your work and you do all the research that I did to make that podcast, all the research, literally, I did a lot of research for that, hours of reading, and before I even did the podcast. And, you know, I'm just like, I'm putting out stuff and nobody's watching. All this in-depth stuff I was doing for, you know, just for regular pods, and I'll just speak on something and not getting the views. Now, some people might say, hey, people just don't like you. Okay. Because I heard that before. I heard that from somebody. And it's not that. It's really not. Because, first of all, in order for your videos to do numbers, you have to get shown. You have to be shown in the algorithms certain things you got to do to get put in there, and the people that come by your pod and watch it, they have to like it, comment on it to get it pushed up. You know, that's not true either, because Mrs. Salvati did what she showed you was you can be on the algorithm, type in the name of your video that you do, and it will not show up. I had a few people of mine saying they couldn't even find my channel after putting it in. After they put it in, they couldn't find it. It wasn't showing up on nothing. Especially when I put out new pods on political things. Now, did that scare me from doing it? No. Because I ain't never scared. And Do we need what I think needs to happen? I think every platform need to be done like Twitter was done. Every one of them. All of them. So we could find out who are censoring voices. We know who's doing it, but I mean on the platforms. I think going forward, I think that's very important, because if you don't have free speech, and you can't just be partisan when it comes to that, people. Free speech means everybody get to say what they need to say, regardless if you agree with it or not. Because it's like, oh, I'll listen to him, but I can't stand him. No, free speech is universal. It's nonpartisan. Because what you do when somebody says something crazy or goofy is you come with a counter narrative. But you can't just stop people from saying what they want to say. That's free speech. A whole room of ideas, people talking about it, and then everybody comes to a consensus, or they believe whatever the hell they want to believe. But it has been an assault on free speech in this country and others. There has been an assault on your liberties. You know, it's the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? We supposed to be free here, right? But no, it's none of that no more. How you gonna say you free when you lived in a country that forced you to take a vaccine? Mandated. In order for you to feed your family, you was mandated to take a vaccine. How are you free? In order for you to work and go certain places, you had to produce a card saying that you were vaccinated. Are we free, good people? I would tend to think different. Regardless of what your stance is on COVID policy, it should be your right to say no. I don't want to take it. They made everybody do it. In order for them to make money to feed their families. And then after the fact, you come a couple years later, and now nobody has to do it. What's different from now and then? COVID is still here, good people. It's an endemic disease. We're going to have to deal with it for the rest of our natural lives. It's going to be around. So what changed? Are we free or are we not? Because ain't nothing free about being mandated to do anything. And then let's talk about that. Once we were mandated, what happened when after they made people stay in the house and everything? What happened? all the shops, all the stores, can only go to certain ones. Business loans being handed out, taxpayer money, to people that didn't need it, that was making profits for years. Got business loans while the moms and pop shops closed down, right? As they would say, an upward transfer of wealth. The rich got richer, the poor got poorer. People lost their homes. It's more homeless people I've seen today than any time in my life. It's more homeless people that I see today than any other time I ever seen in my life. It's more, how can I say it? More censoring. I have never seen censoring or never thought it was happening until recently. I would say about 5 years ago. Maybe a little longer than that. But I started noticing it then. Now, it was longer than that. I would say 6 to 7 years ago, when everybody's best homie was in office. I started seeing it then, where they was locking up journalists for bringing truths, making people leave the country and can't come back because they exposed the truth. If you don't know who I'm talking about as far as journalists, Julian Assange comes to mind. Eric Snowden comes to mind as far as a citizen who showed us that mass surveillance been going on for the longest. So are we in the land of the free? We ain't been free since 9/11, I would say, because that's when it happened. Mass surveillance. And now it's the suppression of voices. People that brings an opinion contrary to what the government says. And they got all these people on every social platform just there hitting buttons so you don't grow, so you don't. It's Twitter showed you that's what's happening. So can you still run around telling people that it's conspiracy theories? No, it's not. It hasn't been conspiracy theories when it comes to a whole lot of things. So let's talk about some of the partisan stuff that I have a problem with. Let's talk about that. Because you got these people with their online shows, what gives you a certain latitude. See, now, I ain't talking about mainstream news. I'm talking about online news, where you got creators of shows people that's supposed to be left-wing people. When they cover stories, oh man, I'd be like, damn, y'all sick. Because if you stuck on some partisan stuff, your viewers should be made aware of that. What I tell people that watch me when I do my political talking, I say I'm left-leaning, but I'm a free thinker. I don't follow what people say. So I find out information, I make up my own mind. But some of these political shows that say they lean to the left or they left-leaning and all that, when they say they left-leaning, no, you just partisan hacks. I don't want to say no names because I don't want to smoke with all these people, but everything is Democrat. Vote Democrat. Vote this Democrat. Democrats are better than the Republicans. What I tend to say is you're getting screwed by both of them. And not only do I say it, I show proof that it's happening. All you have to do is go back and watch some of my old videos. I point them both out. Instead of being a partisan hack, I show you the faults in both of the parties. Because both of them are at fault for what happened to us over the pandemic. It was already poor people. Poorer got poorer. Already rich people, the richer got richer. Okay? The money got funneled in one direction, to the top. And they all like this now. All your little politicians in government passing laws so that their pockets can get filled too. Oh yeah. Yeah. Parties was doing it. The Democrats and the Republicans. See, most of these shows that you watch that's online where they should have more freedom to tell you the truth, they still choose not to do it. You got this show out here, I don't want to say their names, they supposed to be the alternative to mainstream media, but all they do is talk about mainstream media topics. All they do is talk about and say the same thing that mainstream media do. They just put fake left-wing faces on it because it's fake as hell. It's nothing but corporate media done by people with lesser money. That's all it is. You know, it's hard to tell truths out here because people know online. The people that I talked about earlier, said their names. When they tell truths, it's hard. It's hard for you to say these truths knowing what's going to happen. You get smeared. People, it's real. I know. I wish I could show y'all this website, but I'm working on something when it comes to them. Oh yeah. Slander is a thing, good people, and they gonna find out. But when you got that kind of power working against what you say, it's kind of hard, or I'm seeing people that they just starting to lose interest in it because they don't know if what they saying is hitting home. And is it worth it for them to get all this scrutiny to say what they think people need to hear? Because it do come with a lot of backlash, people. People don't understand. When you speak on politics, oh my God. If you ain't no partisan hack where you can get all the people that believe like sheep to just believe what you say, and you be the person that point out both parties where they wrong at, oh yeah, it's different for you. You either a left winger or a right winger. So on some real stuff, Miss Denise, that's really the reason why I haven't been doing political pods. But guess what? We got a new year coming. And I'm going to get back to it. But I just wanted to give some people some of the reasons why I haven't been doing it as much as I used to. It comes with so much stress. Like I said, I see people that's been doing it for years starting to lose interest in it. Mostly because of the censorship, because the character assassination that happens when you do it. Like right now, they say I'm some anti-government person where I don't say anything anti-government. What I say is I want a government that works for the people. There's a difference. You can't call me anti-government when all I do is spit truth. But they want to say it. At the end of the day, good people, you know, I'm going to get back to it. I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to get back to it. I promise you that. And, you know, it's other people out here that do a way better job at it than I do. That's why I told you about RBN. That's why I told you about Bad Faith. That's why I told you about Jimmy Dore, because they do politics better than I do. But I'm gonna still say what I want to say. I'm gonna get in there and say what I want to say. But I think we all need to understand that these people, those people there that I named, the amount of crap though they going through just because they telling the truth is the same thing when it happens to all truth tellers. And like I said in the beginning, it's a particular party that was elected that really went head first in it. So let's do this State of the Union thing, because that's what this video gonna be called, the new State of the Union. Okay? Because I know, this is what I know. Nonpartisan fuckery of the people happened. It ain't never been no particular party. It's always been both, because they both are beholden to corporate greed and power. I've been saying this for years. If you go back 5 years ago on my Facebook feed, 5 years ago, you'll find me saying this in a live. You'll find me saying this just randomly, saying a post like, yo, this is crazy. Look what's going on here. Corporate greed. All this stuff I was saying years ago. Now that I started doing a podcast talking about it, you know, it's different now. I've been saying this for years. And if you know that about me, you know I've been on this stuff. Haven't been swayed by anybody that I watched. I've been on this. But everybody waking up, those people woke up, they started talking about it. I woke up, I started talking. Everybody woke up. But let's talk about the bipartisan screwing of the American people. I did a podcast on the railroad workers with Kirsten Cinema or whatever. That was Democrats and some Republicans that screwed over the railroad workers, took their right away from them for their union to negotiate a better wage, better whatever, time off, everything. The Democratic Party was at the forefront of leading that charge. Oh no, we're gonna lie and act like we want you to have it, but we know when it go to the Senate, it's gonna die. So did they really vote for it? They already knew what was gonna happen. You gotta see the trickery, the mind games that they play with you, good people. The same thing. The Republicans got their justices in the Supreme Court. They overturned Roe v. Wade. You can't tell me the Supreme Court ain't partisan. You can't tell me the Supreme Court is not partisan. And they supposed to be not beholden to any wing of the party. Supposed to be free thinkers, but everything is partisan that come out of the Supreme Court as well. Depending on what party put that justice in there, you might as well say that's the type of policy you're gonna get from them. So with the facade of a separate branch of government, which would be the Supreme Court, it's still partisan legislation, partisan decisions coming from the Supreme Court. Overturn Roe v. Wade. Now they talking about messing with LGBTQ rights. Partisan at a high level. You see, that's two different things. Democrats into union busting, Republicans in taking your rights away. Your right to love whoever the hell you want to love. Your right to do what you feel is in the best interest of your family. That's what Republicans are doing. Are we free? Stop selling the lie. We are not free. Tell the truth of how people are being censored on all these platforms. And the character assassination that happens when they start telling the truth. We free, good people? No, we're not. Haven't been free ever. Especially us black folk. Now, poor white brothers and sisters, they feeling the crunch too. Slowly eroding and taking away your freedoms in the guise of security. Oh, listen now, we got all kinds of threats coming in when we need to take more of your rights away so you can be safe. No, it's so they can be safe. Because if something ever was to happen, it happens to the people, not to the government. The government is in command of tanks, airplanes, and battleships. Nothing's going to happen to it. But the people will feel the crunch, just like what happened in 9/11. 3,000 and some odd people died. It never goes to where whatever we do abroad, it don't hit the people that start all the shit abroad. It happens to the people. And you got these right-wing extremists running around mad at folks they shouldn't be mad at. Throwing their lives away, murdering people en masse over our ideology of partisanship, right wing, left wing, whatever it is. I will say to you, all good people, regardless of whatever political party you choose, is the person that's a different color to you making your life worse? Think about that. Think about that. Is the people that's different colors than you, different race, ethnicity than you, making your life worse? Because if you can explain to me how that's happening, then I'll listen to you. But I don't see how regular folk that's in the same struggle as you making your life worse. Remember, power don't go down, it goes up. If you look up, you'll see where the problem is. But no, you got these white supremacists that want to kill black folk. People who still show grace and leniency to their oppressors. You got people out here that want to hurt you and mad at you because of information they get. And I would tell you, to you white supremacists, did you ever look up and not to the side? Did you ever look up and not down to the real problems in your life? Because I guarantee you, it ain't got nothing to do with no brown person, no black person, no yellow person, no purple person, no LGBTQ person, no regular working person. It ain't got nothing to do with why your life is miserable. It ain't got nothing to do with why you hate somebody, why you're angry, why you're mad. I know why you're mad. You're mad because you probably was middle class and your family probably had a great job working in a factory somewhere. Y'all was living comfortable, able to secure and buy a home and all this, maybe had a boat and all that went away. All that went away, so you're angry because there's no more middle class in this country. It's been gutted by both parties. You either rich or poor. There's no more stuck in the middle. I said that too. Because you got a lot of people running around here making a little bit of money, and they think they're better than folks But all you are is a medical issue away from being a poor person. Why don't we have Medicare for all? Every other country in the world has healthcare system that, you get sick, you go get help. Here you got to pay for everything. It's called just in case shit happens insurance. Insurance on the car, insurance on the house, insurance on your life, insurance on every goddamn thing that you have here insured. Has to be a middleman between you and your doctor. Has to be a middleman between you and going to get an education. A bank, I will call those as the middleman for education. The bank, yeah, you got to get to the bank to get to the school. Most countries in the world gives their people free education. Nothing in the world is free. People, you pay it in the way of more in your taxes, but it's there for you if you want it. You wonder why people from other countries come here and do better than us? It's because most of them are college educated. That's why when a lot of people, these people running around here mad at people of different ethnicities, because they come in here more educated, getting better jobs than the people that's here, is because most of these people are coming in highly educated, good people. So they already have a leg up on you. I wonder why we can't have those things here. Free education, for higher level education, free healthcare like these other people. It's not free. You pay for it in taxes, but it's there when you need it. You don't go into debt when you get sick. You don't lose your home when you get sick. You don't lose your job when you get sick. It's happening in other places. They don't want you to know this stuff. But we can't have nothing here. Everything is pay to play. You will work yourself on the ground just to stick around for a little bit until you can't do shit. And then you're back home, maybe out on the street. Every social safety net has been cut in some type of way over the years and made it harder for the people that can't do for themselves. Let alone you got people like Brett Favre, I did a video on, stealing money from the welfare people. Nothing ain't even being talked about. I wonder why. None of these left-wing news outlets did a story on Brett Favre. They might have talked about it for a day, then they all stopped. I wonder why. That story in itself has so many tentacles, good people. So many different people is implicated in that. That's why they're not talking about it, because it ain't just Brett Favre. It's other people enriching themselves off of that as well, and has done that from different places as well. That's why ain't nobody talking about it. Why ain't nobody covering it? That's like one of the biggest stories in the last 10 years. Ain't nobody covered it. I covered it. It got to a certain number, cut off, just like every other political video I do. It gets to a certain number, cut off. I think I don't know what they doing, but they doing it. They do not want the truth to get out, good people. Because if it did, it would upset the apricot. Some truths laid bare would make a whole lot of people scared. Stop playing. This pod already got me emotional because my mind started thinking about all the fuckery that we've been through over the last few years. Actually, not just a few, just as long as I've been alive. When you start thinking about stuff like that, put you in the mood. And that's why I stopped doing it for a while, good people, is because I really care about this stuff. I really want to bring these type of stories to y'all that I think y'all should hear. When I do stuff like that, I need y'all to watch them, support the videos, hit a like button, subscribe, so I can have more motivation to do it. When I do sports, the reason why I do it so much is because people actually support those pods. When I do music podcasts, they do good, and that's why I do them, because people are watching and they liking them and they subscribing. But when the most stuff that I put the most work into, the most effort into, was the political podcast, or something I did as far as bringing you a news story, where I did hours of research, got the least views. If you want me to do that kind of stuff, I need you to support it. So thank you, Miss Denise, for this. I hope this is, I don't know if this was what you was looking for, but I'm just giving you the reasoning why. A lot of that stuff is it brings drama to you, regardless if you know it or not. A lot of those people that I named earlier, I can imagine what because they do it every day, so I can imagine they getting it worse than I am. But once they turn you down, we got to turn it up, people. We got to support those podcasts, those people, that really care about politics. That's why I told you about the others. If you ain't getting it from me, go to those places. I'll say their names again. You got the Jimmy Dore Show. You got the Bad Faith Podcast. You got RBN, Revolutionary Blackout Network. Sabrina Salvati. You got Useful Idiots with Katie Helper and Aaron Mate. Matt Taibbi used to be on there. Who else could I say? So I really don't watch many of these people anymore. I used to follow them, but I don't anymore. I think that's about it. I'm sure I could think of somebody else, but those are the people that's bringing you the skinny. They tell it like it is, and they bring truth. And I can imagine what they going through off the little bit of stuff that I covered. I can't even imagine what they going through. But these people are really, they really bringing the heat, and they really bringing truth. They speak the truth. So I advise you to go watch them to get your political, and it's not partisan, good people. So if you think that's what it ain't partisan, they come for everybody, just like I do when I do come. So if you're looking for some just Democratic shilling, they ain't happening. You think it's gonna be some Republican shilling, they ain't happening. So I would advise you to go watch those people. If I don't do political stuff, I advise you to go and go there and watch them. They are really good at what they do. And I'm gonna bring it in next year. I'm gonna step it up a little bit more, but I really got to do research, sit down and do it. But I just wanted to give you an explanation of why I haven't been doing it, because it put me in a certain type of mood. And then everything I do subsequently suffers because I'm in a different mood. But I'm gonna get back to it. I got a little more control over myself as of late. Very happy in the direction that things are going. Yeah. But I just want y'all to know, man, I ain't stopped because I was scared. I stopped because my mental. And I wanted to be on a even keel for a while, because doing that kind of work takes a different breed of person, a different, because you got to be prepared for some things that you don't see, but when you see, it puts you in a certain type of mood. So I just want you to understand, I ain't scared, but I will be back with the political commentary, and I want y'all to check out those podcasts that I named, because all those people bring something to the table that I don't. And some of the stuff they talk about, I talk about too. And some of the stuff, that I brought to you was motivated by something I saw. And it was, excuse me, it was like, enlightening for me over the years, just to grow and get my mind off of just regular stuff that people talk about. Is if you are a thinker, people want to call you a nerd. Oh, he's a nerd. When did being smart is corny? When not being a follower is corny? If you're a follower, you good? I never knew that to be the case when I was coming up. But if you using your brain, it's corny. When you saying stuff that's contrary to what the norm is, it's corny. Oh, he corny because I'm smart, because I think outside the box. Oh, he corny because I don't curse the whole podcast. Oh, he's corny. Think about that, y'all. Think about the stigmas they put on people just for them being different. And imagine yourself in that position. You got to fight against that, plus the stuff you don't see. And then you ask a person why they don't do stuff no more. Because that's what we fighting, people. You got to counter the narrative. You understand? If you go for everything somebody tells you or what they show you, you ain't nothing but sheep. Think critically about everything you see. Whatever something you getting from off that TV, you should put it under a microscope and dissect it yourself. Get the information you need. You understand? You ain't gotta act on it or store the information. Take some of that junk out, put some real stuff in there, and you start to think, you start to see stuff better. It's gonna make you feel different about a lot of things, but I tell you what, would you rather know than not know? That is my question I have for you, good people. Would you rather know or not know? Would you rather be in the know than not know? It's people out here that go through hell to bring you information. They need to be supported. I ain't just talking about myself. I'm talking about all those people that I named. Talking about some people that I probably didn't name. Okay, good people. I'm sorry, Miss Denise, if this wasn't what you're looking for, but I will be back to the politics because I'm not partisan when it comes to my my coverage of politics. So if you're looking for some just Democrat kissing butt stuff, it ain't coming here. I never kissed a Republican butt. That ain't happening either. So if you're looking for that, you ain't gonna get it here. I come for both of them when they screw up. And I think both parties are screwing us. And I think people need to be made aware of that. Okay? That's all I got for y'all. I don't want to hold you too long. I want to say Happy New Year to you all. You know, like, subscribe, and comment. Don't just come by and watch. Subscribe. Follow us on Spotify. Rumble with us on Rumble. You know, we need every hand on deck. Keep moving this thing forward. And thank you all for watching. I wish nothing but peace to you all on your journey. Deuces. I'm out.